Welcome into the 9th episode of the Tiny Sock 615 podcast. My name is Jax Weber. Appreciate y'all tuning in today. It's been a while. Hope y'all are doing a great day today. Happy Sunday. It's the last Sunday without NFL football until 2026. How does that sound, folks? That sounds really amazing. So appreciate y'all tuning in the show today. We have a lot to break down from last week to the Minnesota Vikings game to this week. And I'm talking about the Jeffery Simmons fight. Got to talk about Brian Callahan. Also, going to talk about college football at the end of the show. Stay tuned to that. It's going to be really fun at the end of the episode. So, again, welcome into the show. My name is Jax Weber. If y'all can like, subscribe, share to the podcast, do whatever you can for the show. It'd be muchly appreciated. Do got an announcement about the show towards the end of the episode as well. I do want to talk about that as well. So, let's kind of talk about the Minnesota Vikings Tennessee Titans game to kick off. 23-13. Titans got the dub, 2-1 for the preseason. So, let's start off. The Tennessee Titans defense went on the field. Jeffery Simmons started on this first drive. Love that because you kind of want to see Rusty got off from last season because Simmons, who hasn't played a preseason game since 2019, you want to see him get some action. He made a couple tackles and he got assist as well. So Minnesota Vikings punted their first drive, and then the Titans came back and they went only 4 plays and they had to punt the ball as well. Cam Ward went 0 for 1 on the throw, took only 140 off the clock. Then the Vikings got a field goal, so it's 3-0. And then the Tennessee Titans went down the field, 85 yards. Cam Ward was 2 for 3 on this drive. He's 3 for 4, on this drive as well. Like to see that from Cam. 3 good passes, 1 to Van Jefferson, 1 to Eric Eilmanner, and 1 to Julius Chestnut as well. Julius Chestnut ran in for the touchdown, so 7-3. So that's it from Cam Ward's perspective. Then the Vikings punted after 8 plays. And then the Van Jefferson slander is no longer needed. Titans, Van Jefferson, unreal. So, obviously, I know a lot of people last week, including myself, we talked about Van Jefferson, should he get cut from the team? Well, obviously not. He made a nice play. He got 100 yards in this game and 65 yards on this play. Short pass from Brandon Allen down, and he just got past the defender, made a nice couple moves, and he went 65 yards, turned on the Jets for the touchdown in 3:24. That's how much time was off the clock. So, the Titans are now up 14-3. And then Minnesota's driving down the field, and then James Lynch gets pressure. James Williams gets the interception. Then the Tennessee Titans at half. So now after this, Minnesota gets the ball right before halftime. Have the Tennessee Titans punted. They missed the field goal. They missed a 63-yard field goal right at half. Then the Tennessee Titans, Joey Sly rebounds with a 63-yarder. Just to get the Titans 17-3 lead, then the Vikings take a lead, and the Vikings get a touchdown, then it's 10-17. Titans punted again, then the Vikings turn it over on downs, so the Tennessee Titans, they also turn it over on downs. They try to pass Xavier Restrepo. Then the Minnesota Vikings missed a field goal. Then Joey Sly got a couple here. One of them was 53 yards and went off the right upright, bounced on the crossbar, and went in for the field goal, and the Titans hold on 23-13 against the Minnesota Vikings. Good way how to end your preseason. A couple things that could have stood out for me as well. Julius Chestnut made the team, and we're going to talk about that in just a little bit. And that's something that I've really been talking about. Tyjae Spears is going on the injured reserve, and he'll miss 4 games. So you're going to have 3 running backs on the team with Pollard, Chestnut, and Mullings. How are they going to manage that, right, is the big question here now. We're going to see how that goes in the week 1 against Denver. But I'm really excited to see what Chestnut does. We have to see who's also going to still be here because when Spears gets back after week 4, we have to see if the Chestnut or Mullings both stays on the roster. Also do want to give a shout out to the linebacker room again. Cedric Gray, incredible. Cedric Gray and James Williams both made the team. Shout out to both of those guys. Really great to see alongside Cody Barton. Those guys both been taking linebacker 2 reps. So really both of them kind of won the spot. Looks like Williams is going to get that spot, number 2, but Cedric Gray, man, he made it really impressive in preseason. I think Cam Ward had a good preseason. Nothing too flashy, right? He didn't get a touchdown, right? But just seeing growth from week 1 against Tampa to week 3 against the Vikings, you got to like that progress. And I think Cam Ward put some stride, passed another quiz. So now he has to pass another quiz week 1 against the Denver Broncos, which will be a challenging one. All right, we're going to have to talk about the Tennessee Titans roster because we have a lot. Here we go. A lot of roster breakdowns. This is about to be very exciting. So pretty much the practice. Let's talk about the practice squad as first. So Xavier Restrepo and Mason Kinsey are both on the practice squad. James Prochet as well. So they kept 6 receivers because we thought it would be 7, but no, they're only keeping 6 on the active roster. So yes, they only kept 6 receivers. So Kinsey and both Restrepo both made it. Trevor Siemian and Andrew Rupchich, Isaiah Rakes, Ali Gay, Jordan Mims, Kendall Brooks, Cam Horsley, DeMar Jefferson, Monty Orzure, Carlos Watkins, Thomas Odakuda. I think Monty got cut. I have to check on that for you guys, but I think pretty much he did. Someone else got active to the practice squad. Let's break down this 53-man roster as we go through it right now. Quarterbacks 2, as expected. Cam Ward will be the starter. Brandon Allen will be the backup. Running backs 3, Tony Pollard, Julius Chestnut, Kyle Mullings. Again, like we said, how's that going to be managed? We'll see when we go to Denver, but as of right now, the Titans will keep 3 running backs on the roster. They did also keep 6 receivers, which a lot of people thought we'd keep 7, but they did keep 6. Calvin Ridley, Ryan Jefferson, Tyler Lockett, Bryce Oliver, Alec Eilmanor, Seymour DK. So Seymour DK is probably going to take punts and kick returns. We'll see how that goes. Could see Bryce Oliver maybe in there, but as of right now, Seymour DK expected to take those returns. Tight ends, we kept 3 as expected. Chig Okawanu, Gunnar Helm, David Martin Robinson. Respect. Josh Riley lost the job, especially when Gunnar Helm got drafted. So no surprise right there. I don't think anybody really should be surprised. Really excited for Gunnar Helm, though. All right, we're going to give the starting 5 offensive linemen. Lloyd Cushenberry, Peter Sharonsky, Dan Moore, Kevin Zeitler, and J.C. Latham. No surprises there. The backups to them, Blake Hance, who they signed in the offseason, Jackson Slater, who they drafted, Brandon Crenshaw Dixon, undrafted free agency, and Ola Samadi Ordo. So I'm sorry if I said that wrong, but those are the 5 guys behind them. The 4 guys behind the starting 5 offensive linemen. Defensive line, Jeffrey Simmons, Devondre Sweat, Sebastian Joseph Stay expect to be the starters. James Lynch, CJ Ravenell, and Shy Turtle are going to be the backup. Linebackers are going to be Cody Barton, Cedric Gray, James Williams, Dorian Masney, Arden Key, Draymond Jones, Jaden Harrell, Olafemi Oladejo, Jahad Ward. So expected. They got Dorian Masani. I think is going to be a good pickup as well. L'Jarius Sneed, Daryl Baker, Jarvis Brown Lee, Roger McCary, Jalen Davis Armour, Samuel Wormack, and Marcus Harris. So those are 2 guys, Jalen Davis Armour and Samuel Wormack, who had a lot of interest. But since the Titans have the number 1 Raven Rider this year, the Titans get those pieces. Safeties, Amani Hooker, Xavier Woods, Quandre Diggs, Mike Brown, Kevin Winston, no surprises. And then 1 kicker, Joey Sly, punters, Johnny Hecker, and Morgan Cox. That is going to round up the top 3. So it looks like Lloyd Cushenberry is going to be playing week 1, same as L'Jarius Sneed. So Brian Callahan said L'Jarius Sneed is on progress to play week 1 against the Denver Broncos. He practiced all this week, looked great. Practiced especially on Thursday. If you guys see the clip on Twitter, I should say it still is Twitter, by Jim White, took down a coach with him. So yes, he appears to be on track for opener. Love that. It's huge. Ryan Callahan says he's training that way for sure. It's been a real positive week for him. He's been back at practice. We'll get to injury designations next week. We're pleased where he's at. Been a long off season. We're just getting back to work. A lot of solitude in there in the training room. We're trying to get back. So happy for him. We feel good where he's at. So, also Mike Berganzi said that on Thursday, plan is for rookie Seymour DK to take the handle job as returner for the Titans. Like I said, that's going to be the returner for the Tennessee Titans. Also, Devondre Sweat is back to practicing. He looks good right now. He's expected to be playing. Also, J.C. Latham, who has some soreness, he's expected to be in the right direction. He's expected to be on week 1, and he's expected to be playing for the Tennessee Titans at right tackle. All right, let's get to these captains. A lot of first-team captains this year for the Tennessee Titans. Cam Ward, Calvin Ridley, Tony Pollard, Monty Hooker, and Cody Barton. Those are the new guys. Jeffrey Simmons, who is also a captain as well, and so is Morgan Cox. So, Ridley, who I'm going to kind of kick off with Calvin Ridley before I start with anything. 7th NFL season. His 2nd with the Titans. Huge. Calvin Ridley, Tony Pollard, the biggest 2 offensive pieces last year. Been really big vocal on the offense this year. And really love that both of these guys got the team captains. I think it was unanimous, I think for sure. And then also Cody Barton, who's been a vocal on defense. So they just signed from Denver last season, 3-year deal. Been a vocal leader. He's been all around the field. No surprise for Cody Barton. And then Jeffery Simmons named the team captain for the third time, I believe. For the fifth time for Jeffery Simmons, sorry. And then third time for Morgan Cox. Also, Cam Ward, first captain. Love that for your rookie quarterback to see for Cam Ward. Definitely very excited about him being a rookie year number 1. Gotta love that as well. So obviously now let's kind of shift into this new topic. Brian Callahan almost got fired. Yeah, so Easton Freeze, shout out to Easton Freeze. You kind of put this out. The Titans were almost close to firing Rand Carthon and Brian Callahan as well. What does this mean this year for the Tennessee Titans team overall? Well, this means this is the year. If this does not work, Brian Callahan is gone. Okay? Definitely have a lot more expectations for Brian Callahan this year. 3 wins is not going to cut it. Not going to be expected. Nobody should be surprised about this. I'm not surprised about this. I think, personally, I like Callahan. I like what he's doing for this team. But we're going to have a short leash this year. And definitely the Tennessee Titans could start out, maybe 1-7. I don't expect Callahan to stay much longer. Because that's how Amy Armstrong does things. And definitely keep an eye on Brian Callahan and his staff this year because they're really hungry this year to get some more wins. And they need to show Amy Armstrong if he wants to be here next year to get more wins for the Tennessee Titans. So, yes, that did come out earlier this week. That was kind of an interesting story as well. Just to see that they almost did that because there was a tiny rumor last year when they fired Rand. There's maybe there's a rumor that Brian Callahan does not also stay, and that actually came true. So definitely more this Brian Callahan needs to have more optimistic this year. I think the Tennessee Titans need to definitely go far if Brian Callahan wants to stay with the Tennessee Titans. All right, y'all. So we're going to do college football, and we're going to do this every week. So we're going to talk about college football, and I'm very excited we're going to do this once a week. All right, so Texas, Ohio State. Let's kick it off, right? Number 3, Ohio State at home versus number 1, Texas on the road. SEC versus the Big Ten. Arch Manning, big highlight of this game. But he didn't look ready. Arch Manning did not look ready in this one. He really struggled in this one. 17 for 30, 170 with a touchdown. Ooh. And Texas only gets 7 points. Both defenses were really great. Ohio State didn't score into the second quarter. Texas didn't score into the fourth quarter. But Ohio State comes up on top. Their defense really stood tall, and they take down the number 1 team in the country and expect those positions to be switched. So Ohio State expect to be going number 1 in the middle of next week. Penn State took care of business. Drew Aller, 22 for 26, 217, the touchdown, 46-11 against number unranked Nevada. LSU went to Death Valley and took care of business, 17-10. Gus Neismeyer, 28 for 38 for 230 and a touchdown. Anderson got a big touchdown. Guy should have had a touchdown because if y'all did not watch that game, that's a question mark. He had possession of the ball. It looked like maybe he made contact with the ground, but we didn't really get to see it correctly. So, yes, he probably should have had a touchdown, but that's all right. LSU still takes care of business, 17-10. Georgia took care of business against Marshall, 45-7. Gunnar Stockton was 14 for 24, 190 with 2 touchdowns. Zach Branch, new guy from USC, kind of hurts because I'm a Trojan. He also got a touchdown as well. Oregon took care of business. Dante Moore, 18 for 23 for 213 and the 3 touchdowns. That one, 59-13 against Montana State. Biggest upset of the day. Unranked Florida, who got 2 wins last year, 31-17 against the number 8 Alabama Crimson Tide. Whoa, I know a lot of people are happy about that final there. So, Alabama's running game at Florida State's running game at 230 on the ground alone. Huge. That's insane. So QB only had 78 yards on the ground as well. That's insane. So yes, they did take care of business against Alabama. Alabama expect to be falling out in the top 10. Arizona State took care of business. Northern Arizona. They were final 30-19. Quarterback Sam Levitt had 238 passing, 257 passing, with 2 touchdowns. Michigan took care of business with Bryce Underwood, 34-17 against New Mexico. Good game as well. Also, Florida took care of business. Jones had 131 yards and 2 touchdowns, 55-0. SMU took care of business. Jennings still is their quarterback. He had 260 with 2 touchdowns, 42-13. Oklahoma took care of business. This is Illinois State 35-3. That's pretty much the big games that we had. Also, for those Tennessee fans out there, Joey Aguilar looked great in the first game, 45-26. That's kind of some college football, just some big games. Do want to give a shout out to my Trojans, 73-13 against Missouri State. I don't care if it's Missouri State or not. Big shout out to the Trojans for getting 73 points on Missouri. All right. Talk about the podcast, right? Let's talk about what we're doing with this. Where are we going? It's time to update y'all. Well, we're going to do a couple things. We're going to go for a name change. And I am changing my name on the Titans Talk 615 podcast. Yes, this will no longer be the Titans Talk 615 podcast. This is going to be changed by September 7th. Okay? We're going to have an episode this week talking about the Denver Broncos game summary. We're going to talk about research. We're going to talk about the Denver defense, talk about the Tennessee offense, how they're going to match up, and get my game predictions, schedule predictions coming up on Thursday. So we're going to have 2 podcasts a week. So name change by September 7th, 2 podcasts a week starting on Thursday. Okay, Thursday. I totally forgot what date that is. That's my bad. But this Thursday, which is September the 4th, which will have a podcast out for you guys that is going to be new. So keep that in mind. I know a lot of you guys are very excited about that. Also, talk about some NFL news on Thursday because there's some stuff we need to talk about and we catch up from last week. So, yes, Thursday, so September 4th at noon, we're going to do a podcast. We're going to have it out. It's going to be kind of like this. And, this will be the last episode of the Titans Talk podcast. So, before we switch new names, I do want to do one more episode. So, yes, I'm doing it in respect to my buddy Titan Talk on Instagram, and he's actually making his own podcast as well. Check him out. Don't want to get things mixed up. So, definitely want to respect him as well and have a new name change. So I'm going to have some new name ideas, and I'm going to definitely do that. If y'all have a name idea, leave it down below. I would love to hear y'all's thoughts, definitely, for sure. So as of right now, I'm doing a name change. So 2 podcasts a week. That's what we're going to do for the podcast. Going to have an interview coming up very, very soon. All right. That is it from your boy. I appreciate y'all tuning in. I'll definitely see y'all on Thursday. Make sure to check that out on Thursday, September 4th. All right, y'all. Appreciate y'all. See y'all on Thursday. Tie it up.